Welcome back. This is day one of sexual reproduction. Today's aim is how does sexual reproduction work? So we've been talking about asexual reproduction and what that looks like, but today we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about what is sexual reproduction. But before we get to that, you guys have got two do now questions. So go ahead and pause this video and tell me how are mitosis and cancer related, and name at least two environmental factors that can cause cancer and what they cause in the DNA of the organism. Right, so pause this video, answer those questions, and press play when you're ready to review them. So number one, how are mitosis and cancer related? So we've talked about both of these terms before, but they're actually pretty directly correlated, okay? So how exactly are they related? Well, we know cancer is known as uncontrolled cell division, but we also know that mitosis is just cell division. So what is cancer? Well, cancer is uncontrolled mitosis. So if you look at the picture on the right, you can see this is what a normal patch of cells should look like. Okay, this is normal regulated cell growth. Your body has natural mechanisms in place that keep cells regulated. Okay, it keeps the cell growth normal. But occasionally, mutations will occur that override that regulation. And this is when cancer arises. We get this uncontrolled cell growth, and you can see that this patch of cells has just continued to divide and grow further in places where they shouldn't. Okay, that is what is known as a tumor or uncontrolled cell growth. Okay, now name at least two environmental factors that can cause cancer. Identify what they cause in the DNA of an organism. So yesterday we talked about something called carcinogens, okay? These are factors that can cause cancer. This can be things like ultraviolet or UV radiation, smoking, alcohol, even things like processed meats, like bacon. If you enjoy your bacon, egg, and cheese every morning, you might want to start to cut back on that because bacon is technically a carcinogen. And what those carcinogens do is they can cause mutations in your DNA. Now, this does not mean that if you eat bacon, you have cancer. Okay, Anissa, I'm talking to you. Do not panic. But if you eat these every single day, it can lead to mutations in your DNA that can cause cancer. So just something to be aware of. This is why we wear sunlight when we go out, or this is why we wear sunscreen when we go out in the sun to protect us from those UV rays. All right, now let's switch gears and talk about what is sexual reproduction. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to read through this passage and use that information to answer questions 1 and 2. Okay, for almost all animals, it takes two individuals to produce offspring, a male and a female. This is called sexual reproduction. Most plants use this method of reproduction to make more of their own kind too. Sexual reproduction is very important in understanding the behavior and diversity of living things. It also plays a significant role in the process of evolution. To understand why this is so, we must look at the reproductive cells and study the chromosomes within them. So, question 1, what is sexual reproduction? Okay, so take another look at that passage and write down what is sexual reproduction. Okay, we need to know that sexual reproduction is reproduction involving two parents. So we just talked about asexual reproduction, right? That's reproduction involving one parent. But sexual is a little bit different. There are now two parents involved, a male and a female. And what this is going to do is it's actually going to lead to genetic diversity amongst offspring. Okay, when children are made through sexual reproduction, they've got characteristics of both their mom and their dad. Okay, so this is genetic diversity. This is where genetic diversity comes from. Number 2, how does sexual reproduction play an important role in understanding the process of evolution? What does it allow us to comprehend? Well, sexual reproduction leads to, as I just said, genetic diversity. When we have new combinations of DNA, this can lead to new traits. And of course, genetic diversity and mutations, which we'll talk about later, is what has caused evolution over the years. So those new combinations of DNA from different parents can lead to new traits over time and new changes. Okay, moving on to what do we need to know about chromosomes? Okay, so each of our cells contain chromosomes. The chromosomes contain the inherited information that has been passed along since the beginning of life on Earth. I've gotten really bad about my annotations. Hold on, let me catch up. It is this information that determines an individual's characteristics. The chromosomes also contain the know-how that keeps our cells functioning correctly. So they contain the genetic instructions. Why is sexual reproduction all about chromosomes? When a sperm cell and an egg cell unite during sexual reproduction, it is the nucleus from each cell that joins. And what does the nucleus contain? It contains the chromosomes. So sexual reproduction is about combining chromosomes from two individuals, a male, the father, and a female, the mother. All right, I want you guys to like super highlight that last sentence because that perfectly summarizes what we need to know, okay? Each human's body cell contains 46 chromosomes. The first cell from which each of us came, the cell that resulted from the combination of a sperm cell and an egg cell, had 46 chromosomes. Every body cell in you I cannot read. Every body cell in you now still has 46 chromosomes. How did a sperm cell and an egg cell combine to make a new cell with 46 chromosomes? There's only one way. Both the sperm and the egg must have had only 23 chromosomes each, half the amount of chromosomes from the normal number of 46. A special type of cell division produces sperm and egg cell, each with the reduced number of chromosomes. And of course, this special type of cell division is going to be something we'll talk about tomorrow called meiosis. This is different from mitosis. Mitosis produces body cells, but meiosis produces sex cells. Okay, so now use that information to answer question 1. Why do sperm and egg cells both only have 23 chromosomes? Okay, so egg and sperm cells contain half the total human chromosome number. They each only have 23 chromosomes, and this is for a reason. So when they combine, when the sperm and the egg come together, their offspring is then going to contain the full number of 46 chromosomes. So sperm and egg each contain 23 because then when they come together, their offspring, namely you, is going to have a full 46 chromosomes in each of those cells. Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about today is something called gametes. I've got another vocabulary word to throw your way. So this is the last passage we will read. The sperm and egg cells, or sex cells, are also called gametes. In the process of sexual reproduction, the nuclei of the gametes join together. This fusion of nuclei is called fertilization. The resulting cell, a fertilized egg cell, is called a zygote. Each gamete only has the normal number of chromosomes. The zygote and all body cells that come from the mitotic division of the zygote have 2 sets of chromosomes in them, one from each parent. So now use that to tell me what is a gamete and what is a zygote? 2 new words. All right, number 1, what is a gamete? This is just another word for sex cells. So we talked about body cells are also known as somatic cells. Sex cells or gametes are the opposite. So this is known as sperm cells and egg cells. And what is a zygote? A zygote is a fertilized egg cell. So this is what happens when the sperm and the egg come together. When the sperm combines with the egg and those 2 nuclei fuse, we then have a fertilized egg cell. Okay, I also want you guys to know, make sure you know that sex cells only contain half the total number of chromosomes. Okay, so in humans, they contain 23. All right, and that's all I've got for you guys today. Super easy lesson, super quick. So now use that information to answer the 2 questions on your exit ticket. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you guys tomorrow.